So hello everybody, I've got another unboxing to do from CGC. There's 4 books in here. 1 is mine, 3 do not belong to me. Now these are some really hard books to get, especially in the grade they're in. I already know the grades, but I'm going to go ahead and share these with you. You're not going to believe the books that are in here. Let me go ahead and get this unboxed. So I don't know what order to show these books in. They're all kind of huge, giant books. Wow. I don't know which one of these. I don't know, man. Let me just grab one randomly here. Now, this one, this X-Men number 49, is a giant book, as you know, Steranko cover. Somehow gotten off white to white pages, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, this book was part of a multi-mag pack. Now I'm going to do probably a separate video on this and the other books that were in it, but I'm going to go ahead and just reveal the grade on this one since I just happened to get it in today. But yeah, they were part of a multi-bag. Let me grab that bag 1 second. Okay, here we go. There were 4 books inside this bag, poly bag, I don't know what you would call it. But yeah, it's dated 1967 on it. I believe these are these not 1968 books? So that's just crazy to me that these books were in this bag. I actually am the one that removed it from the bags to do the work on the books. Now, they weren't perfect. They had been banged around over the years. But this one was in pretty good shape. I actually think it was more like a 9.4 just because this bottom corner was kind of boogered up a little bit. But yeah, otherwise, this book I thought was a 9.8. So maybe that's it. I mean, you know, the edges on these older Marvel comics from the 60s had a lot of issues anyway. But yeah, man, this was like walking up to the stands and picking this book off. It doesn't even do justice the way I'm seeing it on camera here. The colors on this thing are just absolutely insane. Of course, they were in that bag all of those years, right? So it was kind of awesome to be the first one to open these books once I got them out of the bag. So yeah, this is definitely white pages. I don't know why it says off white to white pages on it, but we just have to roll with it, I guess. But yeah, extremely excited to have that book and get it in the 9.6. Now this one is not my book. We'll just save my book for last. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this one here. This is a crazy book. I'll just cover the grade up because, you know, it has a green label, so you think, uh-oh, what happened? But this is that something was wrong with the ink when they printed it. So it's just got either no black ink or it's just like, what does it say on the label? It says uneven black ink on cover, whatever that means. So yeah, it gets the green label because I guess it's a kind of a massive error, which I'm not really a big fan of that. I think, why would you give it this ugly green label? Anyway, whatever. So it was sent to me, I believe. I've got notes here somewhere. Sent to me as a 9.4. And the owner of the book wasn't necessarily thinking, I think it was an older slab is what it was. And he wasn't necessarily expecting a bump per se, but he wanted to upgrade. And he thought, why not just go for it while he was at it? So, but we went ahead and we got the bump to 9.8 white pages on this. I have no idea what that book's worth. I know it's worth a lot. Any of the Air, McFarlane books are worth a lot of money. Spawn number 1, especially because, yeah, there's not that many of these out here. I don't know what the population is. But yeah, that is pretty cool. You can barely just make out the number 1 on here with the price. So yeah, excited to work on that one. I've never worked on that book before. I've worked on other Air editions. I've worked on the Malibu Sun, 13 one that has the ink issue as well on the back. But these books are not getting any smaller as we go. This one is another one I worked on. Now, I've worked on probably 25, 30 copies of this book so far, but I have not worked on this variant, which is, yeah, Mark Jewelers. Who knew, man? What are the odds of finding a Mark Jewelers of this book in the wild in this high grade? Now, the only thing it had really going against it was some bad fingerprints right here. And, it kind of the oils of the fingers will eat through. So I had to kind of navigate that. I took a lot of it off. But color was already starting to come off on it, or the book was already damaged because of the fingerprints. So I had to kind of like mitigate, find a balance between not removing more ink from the book while getting as much of those fingerprints off as I could. And there were fingerprints other places. There were quite a few defects on this book. I did a lot of work. I think the owner would have been happy. Let me check my notes here. I believe 8.0 was kind of the gold grade on this book. I thought it could have got up to... I was actually thinking this was an 8.5 to 9.0, just because they're kind of all over the place on these fingerprints, though. I thought they might hit that more harshly, but apparently they did not. And the owner is ecstatic to have a 9.2 Mark Jewelers ASM 129, which I don't know how much that's worth either, but it's got to be a lot of money. Very, very exciting. The history of these books. If you don't know what Mark Jewelers are, that's the military stuff, sent to bases, things like that. There's plenty of information online about that, but it's very, very cool. All of these books have an amazing history just because of how they were purchased, where they were purchased. And the fact that they were able to, this book was loved enough that it was, they were able to keep it in such nice condition over the years. But 9.2 white pages is a giant big grade to get on a Mark Jewelers, especially a book like ASM 129. Now this next one is, for a while, was kind of my nemesis book. I bought this as a 9.2 slab. Now this is my book. And I already have a 9.2 up there it's my childhood book. It's right above this one on the wall. And yeah, very, very happy with that 9.2. It had a little tiny corner crease down here. I actually think I can get that to 9.4. I did not clean and press that one. That was one of the first books I ever got done by that guy in Florida. And he did not treat it right, and I think I could get it to 9.4, and that's a project maybe for the future, once I get better at this cleaning and pressing stuff, I don't want to touch that book until I think I've completely mastered the process, which, I'm okay now at it, I think. But I really, really, really want to make sure that I have it down before I touch kind of one of my pride and joy books, that type of thing. So, we got X-Men 101. This one actually had one of the nicest spines I'd ever seen on a book. But it had a innumerable amount of other defects on the book. Now, this had been pressed, and whoever had done it had used way too much humidity, and there were like massive waves all through this book, and I was not able to get them all out. There, I don't know if you can still see, there's still a couple little hints of waves on there. I don't know if this book just inherently had waves on it originally. I don't think so. So I did my best to do that. But there were other defects that just the original presser didn't get out, like indentations, things like that. Just doing a one-off or two presses on this book was not enough. I don't know who owned this book originally, but if they sent it to a presser, they should have sent it to somebody else because they got the 9.2 and I got, 9.8. Off-white to white pages is fine. I think that's appropriate. I was hoping I could squeak out the white pages, but we'll take the 9.8. I paid $1,000, $1,009 after shipping, taxes, everything for this book as a 9.2. I'm not sure if I overpaid. It doesn't matter. I knew it had potential to get better than 9.2. So sometimes it's okay. You buy the book. If I think it's a 9.4, I might pay 9.4 prices on a 9.0 or 9.2 book just because I know, if I think I can get 9.6, 9.8, I will certainly pay 9.4 prices on a 9.2. But I thought 9.6 was probably where this book was going to land. It was kind of borderline, but yeah, I don't know what to do with this book now. I kind of already have a copy that I love. I don't need a 9.8 of this book, so I'll probably sell it. Although I would love to have this book prominently displayed on my wall. Maybe just for a little while? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, should I keep or sell this book? Because, I shelled out $1,000 for this thing, and I think it's worth north of $4,000 now. So it would be nice to be able to get that $4,000 in and buy some more books and do this again. That's what I always end up saying. And, I got bills, got 3 teenagers, a couple going to college, one already in college, one soon going to college. So, yeah, it's hard for me to hold on to bigger books for that reason. I don't know, man. I wish I just had unlimited funds to do that. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and just wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay nerdy. I'll see you in the next video.